Good morning from an incredibly pleasant, very mild, very sunny, no wind, poorly shoulder, fish looking great, Peterborough. First, this. Well, hi there.
Hiya.
Nigel
And Julie.
So here we are. We've come on a pond visit today. So can you guess where we are today? Yep, that's it. We're at Steve and Kat's, and we're gonna turn the tables on them, double six them, and we're gonna do a 10 in 10 on Steve and Kat. Hi, Steve and Kat.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Steve and Kat.
So 10 in 10. Start off with you, Steve. Name, age, profession, and home.
So Steve Wainwright, 58. I live in Peterborough but born in Leeds, and I'm retired frontline ambulance service.
Right. Kat.
And I'm Kat, I'm 49. I am between professions at the moment, and I currently live in Peterborough. Not by choice, but it's where I've wound up.
So question 1. How many koi keeping years do you have?
I started keeping koi in 1991. So
30 years.
that's not continuous 30 years, that's on and off for over a 30-year period.
And yourself, Kat?
Me, 3 years I think we've had the pond, that's it. No experience before, other than watching the heron take all the koi from next door.
Right, and question 2. Size of your pond and how many fish do you have?
2,812 gallon, and we have 15 fish.
Right. So question 4. On an alternative hobby, if you no longer had your pond, what would that be?
It's a difficult one for you.
Well, I used to go fishing. I do a bit of model making in the winter. I like DIY, so anything to do with building things or upscaling things, probably something like that.
Yeah. And you, Kat, what would you choose?
Well, as of 3 years ago, I didn't have the koi keeping, so keeping the gardens takes a bit of time, and also photography is my main hobby.
Yeah, that's great. And what could you both describe as your biggest triumph in koi keeping?
Biggest triumph. I think when the water passed the glass and it didn't leak. I was so pleased. I was losing sleep over that.
A nervous time.
Biggest triumph, probably growing fish from quite a small size to quite a sizable size. Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Kat?
I think for me it's keeping that sorghoi alive earlier. Was it back end of July?
Oh, yeah.
That took
great.
a bit of effort, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Right, so if you had one piece of advice to give new koi keepers, what would it be?
Oh, it's difficult to get down to one piece of advice. It'd have to be research. Just research, learn the hobby, listen to people.
Yeah, that seems to be a big one.
And stick with that.
Yeah. So, question 7. What's been your biggest mistake in koi keeping?
Like so many 10 in 10s that I've done, the mistakes have been numerous. I think what we should have done was build the biggest pond we could get in at the start, rather than do it in stages. It's been more costly in stages.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably biggest mistake. Just
Like so many others.
yeah,
You know.
they're just too numerous to mention. Thankfully you've had the wins, but the mistakes has been too many.
So many people have started off with a small pond and then it's grown.
Yeah. I can appreciate that when you're getting into it, because you don't know where you're going to go, but when you know you're into it and you still don't build the biggest pond. Yeah, bit of a mistake that.
So, question 8. What's your future plans in beekeeping?
Keep these fish alive,
Yeah, yeah.
grow them a bit.
Develop the fish that we've got, maybe add a couple more. Probably more so enjoy it now rather than strive to make it better
Yes.
and bigger. Enjoy, reap what you've sown, enjoy the hobby.
So, question 9 is, do you get support from your partner? And really speaking, there's no need to ask this, is there?
Sorry, who?
Because you do. Because you're in it together, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. It couldn't be done without her, put it that way.
Yeah.
It's a team effort.
It is, and I couldn't. It'd be difficult for me if you had a hobby that I couldn't share with you.
Yeah. That makes it more pleasurable, I think. when
Yeah,
you both-
yeah,
Definitely.
So, is this your forever pond?
yes. Unless we move, in which case, no.
Unless you win the lottery.
If we're in the lottery, well, that changes a lot of things, that changes people's lives.
Yeah.
But as we sit here now, I'm more than happy with what we've got.
And question 10, last question. What's your favourite fish?
Oh, that's so difficult. So difficult. As we add fish, your favourites tend to waver backwards and forwards. I think out of the whole lot, the Yamabuki, simply because it's just completely unmarked. It just looks beautiful.
Your fish?
Yeah, you're right, it changes. So last year it would have been Gordon, who's the Gin Matsuba, but my little disappointment has coloured up over the winter. It's looking much more like a Kajaku. The Parachina, wanted one of those, and the Keisha Sui, I just love those, I think they're absolutely beautiful. But it would have to be the Sorogoi, because it's the one that comes to feed from your hand, it's the friendly one, it'll always come up if people are around.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. I hope everybody has enjoyed that. I mean, the tables
Yes.
turned on you.
Yes.
That was a little bit unexpected, but I can understand how people feel now doing their own 10 in 10. Thank you very much for grilling us.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, that was pleasant surprise. So thank you to Nigel and Julie for gracing us in our hovel in Peterborough. We had an absolutely fantastic time. Fantastic. Anyway, moving on. What have we got here? We got this. So this is the planter waterblade box, whatever you want to call it, that I built probably 18 months ago now. Never thought to use it, but as you can see, it's very far forward on the brick. I need this to sit right back. Unfortunately, it's right against the brick. This pipe won't move, so I'm going to have to put two 45s in here to bring the entire box over here fractionally. Not difficult, but I'm going down to JKI with a guest on Wednesday, and we're going to have a look around JKI, so I'll get a couple of fittings. While we're on the subject of JKI, when I went down late last week, the first thing he said was, my phone has been ringing and ringing and ringing. Let's get out of the sun. I says, why, what's going on? And he said, so many people have contacted me over the filter graveyard. So I was expecting fantastic news. Out of all the people that rang up, save it for me, can I put a deposit on, blah blah blah, only one person turned up, and they got an absolute bargain. Be aware. Moving on. Okay, so unless you're new to the channel, you know what's going on with these two valves. Clean supply, dirty supply. I have got the valves and fittings for the return to the pond. So the plan is to practice with this and make a polisher. So instead of dirty water coming through from the bottom drain, I'm going to put clean water through, but as we discussed before, it drained the bio chamber if I run it back into the pond. So like right is done, I believe, I'm going to put a T-piece in here with a valve and run a pipe to here. Now either I'm going to put a tank connector in the side quite high up because I've got lots of space to play with, or cut a hole in the top and allow the pipe to drop through. I haven't decided yet. Like I've said on earlier videos, not a big fan of drilling into drums, but it's got to look neat and tidy. That's above all where we need to be. Neat and tidy every time. The 10x10s are going really well, and with that in mind, if there's anybody out there that wants to contact me and we can do a 10x10 on WhatsApp, get my email details, especially from the guy in... Now then, are you in Toronto or are you in Vancouver? Is it KR? Seems like a really pleasant guy. So if we can generate something through WhatsApp, if you've got WhatsApp in Canada or Zoom or something like that, let's get a 10x10 organised and we'll have a chat. Anybody in England that wants a 10x10 and we're just simply too far away and we may never meet, which is a shame, if you want to do it on WhatsApp and I'll set up the camera to look at the WhatsApp screen on my phone, we can do that. So we'll leave that bit there. Cat will be choosing what kind of plants will sit in that box when it's in the correct position. In other words, not my department. Another little bit, follow you. Right, I've been looking at cleaning the drum screen. So this looks, it doesn't look too bad because I cleaned it with citric acid. So you can give that a try. I also got some brick acid, and then I got a message from Danny of Danny's Koi Pond, and he said that he was getting a bottle of is it Aquasource drum screen cleaner, and I watched his video last night. I don't think he was entirely sure about whether it cleaned it. There was an element of cleaning there, but it didn't look sufficient for me, so maybe Danny can get in touch with me and sort of give me an update after 24-48 hours whether it has actually give it a proper clean. So up to now I'll continue with the citric acid, and if I can't get any progress with that, I'll try brick acid. I know it's a little bit harsh, but I've got to give it a go. And one last thing for Ken Simpson, Dublin Koi Pond. So when I put my windows in, Ken, I didn't put the flag in and just left it off until I was absolutely certain there was no leaks. And then because of the fact that the fish do thrash about, chucking food all over, jumping up and down and splash water, I didn't want it gathering in this edge. So this flag actually slopes away from the glass, so any rain or moisture gets run away, same as this area. These flags run away from the glass. I know it's a little bit along the lines of the horses bolted and all that, but I thought I'd mention it. And your last video, Ken, some really interesting stuff on the drum, so thanks for that. I found it fascinating. I'll get back to you. Very difficult to see, but there's about 2 or 3 really tiny goldfish fry right in the centre of the camera. They've been quite elusive, but then I got size 9s banging across the bridge. They probably all swam away. Right, when Nigel and Julie were here, we were doing a lot of storytelling about days of old in the ambulance service, and I thought we've got a little bit of a river over the way, and I just wondered if people wanted to hear some funny stories just to put a smile on your face. Clearly there won't be any names or dates or anything to connect people to various things for their own privacy, but some of the stories, or the best stories, were about 8-9 years ago anyway. So if you want to hear some stories, let me know. I'll probably take you on a walk around Peterborough and we'll do some storytelling, see how that works out. I hope you can see that right in the darkness. Cat's Wildlife Pond, not mine. So, thank you very much for joining us on another adventure of how much is that going to cost, and you must be joking. We are getting close to 2,500 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. I think we've got about 70 people more. So as a consequence, if we get to 2,500, whenever that might be, there'll be a prize. We'll just have to decide what that is. In the meantime, it's getting dark, clouds are coming out, as you would believe. We shall leave it there. So get your jabs, look after your family, take care, and goodbye.